Hey everybody, how you doing? Been a while since I shown any vinyl in a video, so about the time I got started on it. A couple of Grails in this batch, records I've wanted for a long time but were unavailable or hard for me to find. They were recently reissued, so I'm going to show you those right now. The first, I guess, Grail you could say is from Porcupine Tree, and In Absentia is the name of the record. And this just got reissued. I think it's called Burning Shed is the name of the online store you buy this from. And this was my introduction to Porcupine Tree. I remember I bought the CD way back when, almost 10 years ago probably or so. There's the gatefold. So and I kept hearing, I'm a big Rush fan and Dream Theater fan, and I go on the fan forums online and see what everyone's talking about. And I kept noticing there was this name Porcupine Tree coming up a lot in the forums, and they were a band I'd never heard of before. And I kept hearing all this great talk about them. And then one day I bought a Modern Drummer magazine because Neil Peart was on the cover, and even he was talking about how great the music of Porcupine Tree and what is and what a great drummer Gavin Harrison was. So I thought this might be worth looking into. So I went to my local Best Buy and to see if they had any Porcupine Tree CDs, and they did, but this was the only one. So I did a blind purchase, and I've been blown, and it was love at first listen when I popped it in. The CD, Blackest Eyes, was such a great song, and Trains. Instantly hooked and loved that song, just fantastic, as well as The Sound of Music, Gravity Eyelids, Wedding Nails, Crater Has a Macetate, Heart Attack and a Lay-By, with all the cool background voices that are laid on top of each other at the end of the song. It's something you just had to listen to. It's hard to describe. And of course, Strip the Soul. This was, like I said, this was reissued recently. It's been out of stock, and I wish I had the colored vinyl, the little collector's item colored vinyl. This is just plain black vinyl with the custom labels. But really good packaging, like all Porcupine Tree records. They put a lot of care into their packaging, and it's always a good collection when you collect their albums. This one's no exception. You know, these inserts here look really nice. Some nice photography, lyrics on the back, and each record, of course, has a custom label on it. Of course, I wish I had the colored vinyl, which is the big collector's item, but that's completely sold out. And I've seen it online only once. They wanted like an arm and a leg for it. So when I saw the announcement that this was being reissued on vinyl, in black vinyl, I immediately jumped on it, and real happy to have this. This was a Grail for me, and really glad to hear these songs on vinyl now. This is such a spectacular album, so really dig it. In Absentia, Porcupine Tree. Okay, Grail number 2. This will end it with the Grail section of the video. From the band Marillion, Brave. And again, another album I had on CD for ages, and to find the original pressing on vinyl, there's the gatefold, is very hard even online. It is out there, but God, it was expensive. This one also was recently reissued on the band's online store, and picked up a copy. And to hear this album, and of course black vinyl, custom labels, really cool. 180 gram, like I said. Just really cool to hear this record on vinyl. Sounds fantastic. Everything on here is just brilliant, just absolutely brilliant. It came with this little poster, which is just the exact replica of the cover. And I always thought that was a creepy looking cover, but it fits the music. And this is more or less a concept album. The lead singer of the band, Steve Hogarth, I think was watching the news one day, and there was a young lady that was about to jump off of a major bridge in England or London, I forgot which, and you know, it naturally it held up traffic during rush hour and made everything a mess. And I guess they had a close-up of a woman, and he just thought to himself, you know, what could be so bad to drive a person to do this? And get up on the bridge and get ready to attempt suicide. He really felt for the person, and in his head he came up with a good story about how a young lady would end up there. And his main character, pretty much this, is is from a wealthy family. On the outside, it looked like decent church-going people, but behind closed doors, there's something a little perverse going on there, and it leads to this girl making many attempts to run away from home. So, who would want to run away from wealth? So, anyone who wants to run away from wealth, it's got to be something very nasty going on at home. So, that's more or less what the story is about. There's some. And I believe, if I remember right, there were certain versions that if you picked up the CD of the album, the end of the story is she jumps off the bridge and dies, and then there's other versions of the album where she lives, and it just depends on which version you pick up at random. So, really cool. And I dig this packaging. It's done in this really high gloss cardstock, the jacket, and it sounds so spectacular to hear this on vinyl. Songs like Living with the Big Lie, Runaway, Goodbye to All That, it's a whole big body of music with like 4 different parts to it. And the dynamics in this album are off the hook, really intense, loud music, really soft, subtle, and sometimes it's hard to hear the vocals because they're not sung, they're whispered very, 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 very softly. So even with headphones, you have trouble following it. You really have to listen hard, but this is just a spectacular album. So I think it's one of my favorite Marillion albums. It was a must-have when I became a vinyl collector, and now it's finally in the collection. I'm so happy. So Marillion Brave, that was Grail number 2. That and Porcupine Tree made me really happy. Okay, now these are just some used vinyls I picked up. We're done with the Grail section of this video. Another Marillion record, Season's End. Really stunned to find this on vinyl. This you don't see this one every day in the used section, so when I saw this, my eyes absolutely lit up. And it comes with the original insert, as you can see. I was just so happy when I saw this, and it's on Capitol, no big deal there. Oh man, but when I saw this, my eyes just lit up. This is again during the Hogarth era of Marillion, more modern. But it has the song Easter and the Uninvited Guest. Easter is a gorgeous song. Have it on CD. It's so good to have it on vinyl. Easter and the Uninvited Guest. Also, there's a song called Hooks in You and Holloway Girl. Some great songs on this album. When I brought it home, I instantly threw it on the turntable and just sat there, and I was just in La La Land. This is just a great album. So some big additions to the Marillion collection in this video. Some major ones, and this is another major one. So really happy to score that. And from the 80s band Tears for Fears, their first album, The Hurting. This is a UK pressing of the record, because the American cover looks a lot different than this. And I don't know what it is with UK pressings. I mean, their jackets, their covers are really thin cardboard, but the vinyl plays nice, and it came with the original insert, as you can see here. And there are some nice custom labels, right, like so. So really cool, The Hurting. I know the big singles on this one is Mad World, but my favorite song, or single I should say, my favorite song on here is Change. I think that is a great song. I once had a videotape of them playing it live. It was the Nebworth concert, which I believe was in 1990 or 89, where they shared a stage with Genesis and Pink Floyd and Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, Eric Clapton, Elton John, Mark Knopfler. So they were one of the first bands to play the Nebworth concert, and I did have the video cassette to that concert, and they did play a great version of Change on there. It's fantastic. So it makes me, after I heard this record, it made me want to break out the VHS tape and listen to it again. It's just fantastic. So really happy to have this one, Tears for Fears. Next up is from the band The Church. This is Gold Afternoon Fix. I really dig The Church's album Starfish. I got some of their earlier records. They're good, but they're not as good as Starfish. This album is really, really good. Since I bought it, I found this used for like $4, and it is in very good condition. It didn't come with the original insert, so there's no reason to pull that out. Just on the Arista label. The song Metropolis, Terra Novocaine, they're all great songs. It's a great listen. Spun it 3 times and just love everything I hear from this album. Really, really good. Right up there with Starfish, I think. Starfish, of course, this is just my all-time favorite album from The Church, but this one comes in a very close second. This is a really good listen. So I was really happy to score that one. Something to bring me back to my childhood. Actually, the next 3 records do that. From Earth, Wind & Fire, it's the Best of Volume 1. And as you can see in the blue label there, it's a half-speed mastering mix of this record. Really nice. And here's the gatefold. Just some a collage of pictures from the past from Earth, Wind & Fire. My brothers and my sister used to really buy all their 45s and albums and 8-track tapes, so I grew up listening to Earth, Wind & Fire, and I just can't stop buying their albums now that I've become a VC collector. So, oh man, and to hear this in half-speed mastering is such an upgrade, especially the horn section, all those quick horn stabs, like Gotta Get You Into My Life and Getaway. You really can hear the horns really well in this half-speed mastering edition, so I was really happy to score this. And it came with the original poster, well, not a poster, but a lyric sheet right here. And of course it explains what's involved in the production of the half-speed mastering discs, and I never took the time to read that. I should, because it would probably be fascinating. And it is on the ARC label. Really nice, and it is a huge upgrade to anything I have on vinyl, anything I have on CD. This record really sounds fantastic. That half-speed mastering technique they do on these albums really makes a world of difference, especially on my turntable, my sound system. I can really hear the difference. This is just the way to listen to this band, because there's so many layers of guitars and percussion and horn section. Really makes a great listening experience. Okay, a couple of classic rock records because, well, yeah, they're fun to have and they're real cheap to buy. So Doobie Brothers, The Captain and Me, a real classic album, has that song China Grove on it and Long Train Running, which are some of my favorite songs from this band. And there is the gatefold right there. So really nice to have that in the collection now. And from Kansas, Point of No Return, or Now Return. Point of no return. I don't know why I said now. Point of No Return. Tongue-tied today. But another classic album from Kansas. Really cool to score that. I can't remember what label this is on. Oh, it has a custom label, so these look really nice. I haven't listened to this one yet, so we're getting really lazy on this. I gotta spin this one. Just get one courtesy spin, but Kansas has always been a great band, and those are nice looking custom labels, so very, very nice score there. So let me just put this away here. And a 12-inch single from the band New Order, Perfect Kiss. I believe this is a DJ copy, yeah, because it's a gold stamp promo. So, and I was listening to this when I brought it home. This is actually a damn cool song. So, and it's a fun song to turn up loud. So if you got a good sound system, this is a fun album to turn up really loud. Well, single, I should say. Really cool. So, I should get more of their albums. I also want to get more Erasure albums too. I've been on this synth pop kick the last month or so, and those records are just fun to listen to. So I gotta really get more and more of those records as I find them. Well, that's gonna do it, folks. That was just the vinyl finds for the day. Really happy to find those two Grails. I've been after them for so long. Really nice to finally have them in the collection. Real quick band update. Last night, which was June 8th, my band, Broken Undertone, had its CD release show. We officially released the CD to the public and shared the stage with 4 other bands, and we were the fourth. Oh no, we were the 4th of 5 bands. So yeah, we shared the stage with 4 other bands, and it was just an amazing night of music. All the bands played well. Everybody got along. Everybody was having a good time, smiling, laughing. And we sold a lot of merchandise and a lot of CDs, so it was a good night for our band. And it was just good to see everybody out there having a great time. And you know, we played our usual set, and it seemed to go by like that. The whole evening just like flew by. It felt like a dream. Right? I felt like I dreamt the whole thing. It was such a surreal moment, and it was just one of the funnest times I ever had as a performing musician, as a drummer. Just a great time. Stood up all night, came home, was restless, hard to sleep. I think I might have went to bed at 5 a.m. or something like that. Woke up at almost noon, but really feeling happy. So the CD is officially released, and we had a great time doing our CD release show. Well, that's going to do it for me. Hope to see you guys in the next video. Take care.